Well, I guess this episode is going to be about floors. That's what I'm talking about. Guess I gotta sit down here and go vroom, 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 vroom. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to call this the baseline for this. If I move up this wall 4 inches, that'll clear the carburetors with a vent, or not a vent, air filter. That's where these little guys will go. So these will go there, in line with where the firewall used to be right here. That will give me the structure, and then I'm going to make this like a shelf to hold it. So the top of this bracket will be the 4-inch mark on both sides, exactly level, which is the fun part because I got to get it exactly level. And then that'll give me a structure from this. I still have not fixed the fact that this whole thing goes back and forth, but that's next. I want to get this in place so that if anything happens to one of these while I'm working on that or that, I don't lose this width. So these will go in 4 inches. This will go on top of it. And then from there, I will build the floor supports whenever the floor goes in, which is the old bus floor. There's the underside of the floor level. Make sure. Just curious. Just 4 1/8 inches, or 11 centimeters. Well, just under 11 centimeters. Once I get that welded, it'll be about that. I'm going to grind off some slag there from the plasma cutter. Okay, that's my floor, and now once I get that in place, these will be hooked together. And then I've got to worry about that cross member right there. But this will help me get into the right spot, because I got to make sure my bolt holes line up back here for the suspension, and then the sway bar will go in. I got to disassemble that, clean it, put it back together, so on and so forth. It's just floating there for now because I'm lazy. Okay, I think it's time for a lunch break. Okay, that's on the right spot. Make sure I didn't move anything. And that's on the right spot. So these bolt holes, yeah. So that bolt hole is good. Cross brace. That bolt hole is good. This bar is exactly the distance between the two, like on my piece of paper. 939 millimeters. So when I butted this edge up against that edge, it was 939 millimeters. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. What am I stuck on? That's what I was afraid of. Okay. Here's what I learned. The distance between there and there is the bar I cut is the distance between this support beam and this support beam on this side, with just a little bit of extra metal where the spot welds are in the way as the wheel well comes in. So if I figure out where this all goes, this section goes right above the transmission. It's going to put a lot of room above the transmission, but I've got to make sure the sway bar has room. And originally I was going to put this door behind the seats, but if I put it right here, I can access the starter and anything else underneath, which also means I could maybe move things down there. So that actually works out pretty good. I'm keeping the supports on the sides in place at the moment. I've just got to figure out the trim for these to drop down in, and I am very close right now. And then I got to get rid of this metal on the front here. But those supports are really nice. Let's see what I can do. Time to get out the good cutter on the ground, you know, the death wheel thing, and cut that at a straight line. The spot welds hold the beam on, but there's spot welds on both sides. So the plan is, if I cut off these spot welds on this side, this still holds the beam on, and once I weld this to the wheel well, and then it'll drop in. It'll hold it all together. Would you look at that? Yes. That's really cool. So, here, come here. Come here. Sorry, it's so bright. Lightning's terrible right now. See that pillar right there? Has a twin over here. If I cut them, I was originally going to say, well, that can support here. But if I cut them in line with that beam, it's still going to arch down and weld right to the beam. And if I can make that fold be up against this, it will be, well, way better than what I was planning to do. That's wicked cool. Oh yeah. So as you all know, that's the, on a bus, this is the high rise above the engine in the back. So you'd normally be sitting here anyway. So if I can get that wall to line up with where the firewall, not firewall, the package tray started on this right here, that will give me a whole bunch of structural metal. Yeah. Let me see what that looks like. I got to trim those off there and there. So that's cool. Lots of room for the engine. Lighting is terrible right now. I don't have any way to light the back of the garage better than the front of the garage right at the moment. Okay. Or do I cut here and move that to there, leaving those hinges above this. And then put my type 3 cover right here. Decisions, decisions. Might be easier to just cut that. I'll get rid of that little guy right there. Yeah. Well, there it is. Okay, so gonna cut that. Push it up against it so that it's right behind where the hinge clips are. And then I can build a piece of patch metal that's right here. And that'll actually solve my problem with this piece being flexible, because this will then hold this. And on both sides. And of course, this is all wonky cut. And then I can build, yes. Yes, 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 yes. I might be able to use that one. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I took 7 inches out of the middle, directly above the fold to this door, and it turned out beautiful. Okay, that means that this is where this goes. There's a crossbeam right here that is going to be directly butted up against the cross beam that I built between the wheel wells. And now I've got to, there's a support here and here underneath. So I'm going to cut the support out right there so that this sits down like another inch onto that bar I put in. And that'll tell me where to cut the bottom of that off. When I cut the bottom of this off, the cool thing is that'll give me all of this metal, so I can get rid of this piece only right here. So I'm going to cut this section out, including this rusty spot and that side over there to match, and then this will be welded directly to this. So I'm going to have to clean this up a lot, cut this section out, fix down here on both of them. Yeah, it's coming together. Welding this took an hour and a half because I was learning, but boy did I learn so much on welding these two pieces together that'll help me whenever I weld the roof together. I'm going to have to build a scaffold over this thing to weld the roof together, because holy cow, that is a lot of A lot of work. Whew! Tiny little tack welds, tiny little tack welds. Okay. Progress. I love it. That's really cool. Okay. Now, I think that's as far as I'm going to get on this, because I need to now clean up the cross members, cut a chunk out of it, and make it so that it's ready to receive that section. And yeah. Paper cutted, well, little slice of metal, but I ripped my new jeans, dang it. Ah, dang it. Guess I'll start having to wear my fire hose ones whenever I'm working on metal. It's the first time that's happened. Dagnabbit. Okay. Back to work. I made a thing. This is my Type 3 motor. This is the top of my Type 3 motor. This is the car back, so the front of the Type 3 motor. Think of the fan right here. So what am I doing? Here's the idea. This is ½ an inch bigger than Huey's engine on this side and that side, and it is the right distance from here to here with an extra inch as well. So clearance, right? So now I'm going to take this and mount it to this, because this will fit as a stand-in for the motor that I'm going to build eventually for the Käfer van. Okay, so the point is, this will get there. I've already measured that point is the top and dead center of the engine, which matches up with the top center of this. Now there's a lot of space above it, because I got to worry about the carbs and the cool, you know, the vents and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this right there, and then that's going to stay there every time I need to worry about the back half, which I'm getting close to, because now I got to do the floor install. But that's where I'm at now, so I thought I'd get that ready. I decided to make sure I knew where 68 inches from the B pillar was. Here's what I came up with. It's not dumb if it works, right? I tied a rope that's exactly 68 inches long if it's measured from there to there. So now, no matter where the car is, I know that this is the rough idea where it is, so I can kind of eyeball it every time. So it's not a dumb idea if it works, right? Yeah, comment below how bad that dad joke was, but you're free to use it. I like it. Yeah. Floor. Look at that. It's in, sorta. Yeah. Car's got outriggers. Yeah. Now, guess I gotta sit down here and go vroom, 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 vroom. Guess that's too loud for a 4-cylinder. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you ding the bell so you get updates as to when I upload new videos every Friday. And I do shorts all week long, and if you see my Instagram, sometimes the stuff's different there because I do a lot more photos and things, and you'll see my other car, Huey, out there too.